Welcome to Good Business Today. I'm Whitney Fitzsimmons. A few years ago, cybersecurity was relatively unheard of and was the sole responsibility of the IT department. But with a number of cyber attacks and serious disruption to business services, this has become a major concern for boards and CEOs. To find out more about this, I'm joined by Kumar Parakala. Kumar Parakala, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Whitney.
So, can you just tell me how serious is this issue of cybersecurity?
Whitney, with a number of companies in the last 10 years or so increasingly using internet and computer infrastructure, the risk has exponentially increased and it has become quite serious in the last few years, in the last 2 to 3 years. And that is because businesses are heavily reliant on digital technologies and they are relying on internet for their growth and to serve their customers. This is actually a very serious issue that the companies are facing right now, and the risk is coming from individuals or organizations who have a malicious intent of harming other individuals or other organizations by attacking their computer infrastructure, by putting viruses into their PCs, or targeting confidential information, as we have seen. So cyber attacks have increased by 20% in the last 12 months. And most of the large corporations and government agencies are quite worried about it. So this is a serious issue, and businesses need to do more and address this problem as much as they can.
So I guess in the business context though, whose responsibility is it? Is it the boards or is it the IT department?
3 to 4 years back, IT departments were solely responsible for the security of the computer systems. It's no longer the case. Increasingly, boards are being challenged and questioned as to why they are not ensuring that the businesses where serious cybersecurity issues have emerged, why the boards are not doing what they're supposed to, why they're not fulfilling their governance responsibilities in managing risks. So 3 to 4 years back, I would have said, yes, the responsibility of the IT department, fine, no problems. But today, with the dependence of the business on technology, it is the board's responsibility to ensure that organizational risks are managed, including risks associated with cyber attacks. I'll give you some examples, Whitney, if I may, of cybersecurity related issues where companies have faced serious cyber attacks. Just last week, 4 million employees of a US government agency were impacted because an international cyber attack was launched on US government assets. IRS last year in the United States again, which is similar to our tax office, or ATO. It was attacked last year and 2.4 million people were impacted because of that attack. Some well-known companies like JP Morgan, Sony, Target, Home Depot, RBS, they all have experienced serious damage to the business because of cyber attacks. Here in Australia, we have almost all banks being targeted by the so-called cyber terrorists, as they call them, are people who are involved in hackers. They're all targeting large corporations. So it's quite prevalent, it's quite common, and it is only going to increase. And this is an issue that boards are really worried and rightly so.
So I guess what are the primary things that boards need to do to deal with cybersecurity?
I think the first and foremost, boards must classify cybersecurity as a major business risk, especially if the organization is heavily reliant on technology, and that is any big company, that's the case. The second thing that the boards must do is to understand the impact in a situation where there is a cyber attack. What is the risk that they are exposed to? What is the impact on business continuity? Is there going to be a financial damage of some sort? Would there be a reputational risk as far as customers are concerned? They need to get a proper handle on this. These are all very simple questions, but answers to these questions are fairly complex. So they need to understand the extent of damage should things go wrong. The third things boards must ensure is that they should have adequate expertise that they can tap into than just relying on internal resources. And they should have either some expertise in technology on the board, which I have always advocated, or they should have opportunities to have international experts, if it's a large company, come and talk to the boards and give an external perspective. Last but not least, I think the audit function is very important, internal audit and external audit. During the last few years, we have seen audit budgets being slashed down, and as a result of that, the areas that get dropped are technology related, and often there's not enough scrutiny of either the technology initiatives or risks associated with technology during the auditing process. I think the board needs to very carefully ensure that when they are getting external auditors in, these sorts of matters are properly covered so that they have an independent advice available to them on state of affairs. So if the boards at least do some of the things that I've just mentioned, I think they will be far ahead of many of their counterparts and will be able to deal with some of the challenges relating to cybersecurity, if not all.
Kumar Parakala, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Whitney.